Welcome OBS fam to the OBS Outpost seat swap info tutorial. Today we're going to talk about seat swapping 2015 to 2020 GM Yukon, Tahoe, Silverado Escalade seats to your 8898 Chevy truck, 8899 Tahoe. So we're going to talk real quick about why you can't just take one of these seats and just why it's not going to bolt right up. Well, for starters, the seat rail is entirely different on the newer type vehicles than what we have on our OBS stuff. Just to kind of show you the difference, here is a seat bracket. So removed from a 99 Tahoe. A lot of different characteristics. They've got this big riser here. You can see also how dramatically this is offset. These are your 4 mounting points on your floorboards. You can see that this seat is shifted over. This is the driver's side. You can see how far it's shifted over. That's so that the seat can be centered with the steering wheel. So these are a lot of the, obviously challenges we have when we're taking this newer style seat here, which is pretty much symmetrical. These rails run, even left and right. So we have to be able to adapt this to this, and that's what my seat brackets basically do. Here's a standard bracket right here. This is just in raw steel. We do offer powder coating. This is a low profile design. So when it's sitting in your vehicle, basically looks like that. And once they're powder coated, or you can paint them too if you want, they're basically invisible. You don't see them at all, totally hidden away. There's a few things we need to do to these seats though to be able to make them work with these brackets here. All these GM seats are going to have specific mounting points that are going to be on the factory seat already. You're going to have these big monster hooks right here. These seats factory mounted just with 2 bolts originally, and they had 2 mounting points, one right here and one right here just in the back. And then they used this hook system up here that basically went into the floorboard that caught it here, and then you've got some locating pins over here and here as well. And then the seat rails themselves are actually got rivets on them as well. All this stuff needs to be removed. Now, rivets can be drilled out relatively easy. These hooks are going to be a little bit more complex. So a lot of the other GM seats I did had the same style hook and the same style bracket back here, just riveted on. Believe it or not, they also welded this bracket on, not just the rivets, but it's also welded, and obviously these hooks are welded as well, which makes it pretty difficult to get removed. A cutoff wheel and some time, flap disc, grinder wheel. Eventually you'll get it to where it'll look like this. So this seat is a driver's side seat. It's identical to this one right here. Obviously all the bracketry has been removed from this one. So when we drill out these rivets right here, they become the mounting points. Bolt goes through there and basically goes right into there. Now your seat fits flush right onto the bracket themselves. So that is our standard bracket that we do. Again, these are raw steel right now. And you can also see that they come pre-drilled with your 4 mounting holes. You can see how much offset we take in consideration, the offset, so that your center point, which is right here, is centered with the steering wheel. We also oversize the top here because we need to be able to gain access, and a 15 mil socket goes right through there, and you can bolt it down to your factory floorboard that way. So basically you mount the bracket first, and then you set the seat on top of here, and then you've got your 4 mounting points, and you are done. This set we're doing for a customer. He asked us if we could do riv nuts in there, which we do. It's not standard. We don't drill the tops here. This is somewhat of a universal bracket. There's a few different seats that this bracket also fits. So, and they have different mounting points. So we leave that up to the customer to do. Really all you're gonna do is just set your seat down on top of the bracket here, mark it with a Sharpie, drill through, and then just get yourself some grade 8 hardware, some 5/16 bolts, nuts is all you're going to need to mount these mount your seat to the bracket. So I've had a few guys request or ask me about, you know, hey, is there a bracket you offer? It doesn't require me to have to remove all the bracketry on here, or I don't have the skills to be able to do it, or I don't have a shop in my area. So I got to thinking, yeah, it's possible. So we went to the design center and drew up something on my CAD, and we came up with this Pro bracket right here. So it looks pretty similar. It functions identical to the factory bracket, or to the standard bracket, but what it does is it actually utilizes the factory seat rail hooks in mounting points, and this bracket only requires the customer to do one modification, and that is to basically score this bracket here with a cutoff wheel. You just score it and get yourself a set of big vice grips and just work it off, and then you're going to drill out one of these rivets. That takes a total of about 5 minutes to do that, compared to I probably had, I don't know, probably a couple hours of time into getting rid of cleaning up this seat right here. It was a bear to do. It was a lot of work. The only disadvantage to the Pro bracket is because the amount of fabrication time that these take versus the standard bracket, they are going to be a more expensive bracket. I haven't figured out exactly what the price difference is going to be, but they're going to be more costly. The benefit though, they just basically, that's it. And then you've got your bolt holes down here, which you'll bolt to, and it'll mount just like the factory seat does originally. So this is the Pro bracket. I know the tolerances are super tight on these things, and you can also see that how the offset, we've pre-drilled these ones to match up to the floorboard so that everything is within line. The last thing I'm going to cover here, or one of the last things I'm going to cover, is other seats out there. Again, this video is primarily on the 2015-2020, but like I said, the standard bracket is somewhat of a universal. We just adjust the width for the seat rail, so if you have a different set of seats, all I really need to know is the measurement between the seat rail and then the outside of the seat rail, and obviously the seat length, the seat rail length. And then we build this off of our jig so we can customize it to any width and size, and you'll always have your mounting points the same. What's cool, one thing I want to point out was another type of seat. I mentioned this 2008 CTS seat. What I like about these is, even though these had the same type of hook system up here, they're only riveted on. And I've got a video that shows you how to remove these. Literally, these brackets come off probably less than 10 minutes to do the entire seat, and all you need is a set of drill bits to do it. So the CTS seats, number one, they're super affordable. Any junkyard, you can generally pick these things up for about $100 a pair. And with a cheap set of Harbor Freight drill bits and a set of my brackets right there, you've done a really cheap seat swap, because these Tahoe, Silverado, these 2015, 2020 seats have become very expensive. I think a set of buckets are probably going to set you back somewhere in the neighborhood of $1,200 to $1,500 now, as opposed to, say, $100 for a set of CTS seats. The GMC terrain seats, the Equinox, are also a great option. I think they're from 2010 on up. Those usually can still be bought pretty affordable. And again, the CTS seats, terrain seats, you know, just the standard seat bracket fits, like I said, about 90% of the stuff out there. The last thing I'll cover real quick is the wiring. A lot of guys out there get a bit intimidated because these newer seats are going to have so many darn wires. Okay, well, that's because these newer vehicles are running a CAN bus system, body control module. You don't need any of these wires. You're going to focus on about 2 to 3 wires, sometimes 4, depending on what model seat it is. But that's, you know, I can walk you through that as well. Usually got a big thick black and a big thick red. These Tahoe seats, the 2015, 2020, red with a black tracer. So the two reds get connected together to black, and that's going to give you all your power functions. You can cut this whole plug off, tape it up, you don't need it. Do not put power to any of the yellows. That's going to be all your airbag stuff. So that's a no-no. Don't mess with the yellows. Red and black, and you'll be safe. Other than that, that's going to conclude this video here. I'll have other videos. The next one we're going to do is how to mount the seat. I basically described how to do it. We'll do a quick video of mounting the bracket to your truck, SUV, and then mounting the seat to the bracket. And I've also got another one on how to drill out the rivets. But other than that, I want to thank you for watching, and look forward to hearing back from you guys. OBSOutpost.com or Dan at OBSOutpost.com. OBS Outpost on Facebook. That's how you can connect with us. If you got any questions, you got seats you are currently sitting on but don't know how to get them adapted, shoot me a message, and I'm sure we've got a solution to be able to get you guys hooked up. Thank you.